Hello, this is Jacen MoonLightGang here, and today I will be talking about item rarity in games. Specifically, I'm going to be using two games as a comparison. Destiny, the new game that came out for Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. And any of the Borderlands games, really, it doesn't really matter. They came out for, I believe, every console, really. PS3, PS4. Did they come out for, I don't know. Anyway, that's beside the points. Beside the point, I will be talking about the differences between the two loot systems, and I guess there's games that have used the Borderlands style loot system, but Borderlands is an FPS, so that goes together with Destiny, which is also an FPS. But I will be talking about that, and I'm going to go ahead and start doing that, because otherwise I'm going to start rambling. In Destiny, the loot system is what I would say is progressive. Like, the loot system is a form of improving your character. I would not say the same thing for Borderlands, and I'll get into that in a second after I finish talking about Destiny. Destiny is very progression based, like I said before. I'm being redundant. Every time you get new equipment, a new tier of equipment, it's not that it was luck, it was because it was the rarity, except in endgame, that's different. In the beginning, you start out using white guns, and the white guns are not very special at all. But as you go through the game, you start finding green weapons, which are a lot better, and they have a little fancy thing that comes with them that's pretty neat. Then you start getting blue weapons, and that becomes the norm. Like, getting blue weapons is the good stuff, and then you pretty much beat the game. And if you're lucky, you might get a legendary gun, but that's usually endgame stuff, and it's kind of weird because people say Destiny is a bad story, but that's beside the point. Everything beyond that is technically endgame progression. Getting exotic equipment, which is the best stuff in the game, that is endgame. Getting legendaries is even endgame as well, because they're the best stuff, and they're the best stuff that you aren't limited on. You can only have a certain amount of exotics in your inventory, or equipped on you at one time. So you're really on the hunt for legendaries, and they become the progression. The progression. And even it goes into your equipment. Your level is incorporated as your equipment. You cannot get to a certain level unless you have the right equipment, and you can't go beyond level 24, I believe, without legendary equipment. Borderlands, on the other hand, is very. It's the item color rarity is more of a. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's more of just a sign of rarity. Like, that sounds redundant, but yeah. It's just to easily show differences between what you found. Like, oh, hey, I found a yellow weapon. That means it's super good. No. The ultimate example can be even when I played the game. I found a yellow 23 conference call, which is like the shotgun that it does something special. I forget what. I got it level 23, and sure, it was really neat, but it eventually became useless because it was level 23. It isn't a form of progression because the thing that was supposed to be better than everything else is worthless once I reach level 40 or 50 or really anything beyond level 30. Or I forget what level I said the gun was. I think it was level 23. I don't like that. I prefer Destiny's over that because if you find a legendary gun, it is legendary. It's super, it's great. There's not a whole lot that's better than it. It's like, yeah. As opposed to Borderlands, which, yeah, there's a lot more guns, but I don't like a lot of the guns in Borderlands. That's beside the point. There's a lot of stuff that's beside the point. I'm trying to be quick and concise, but I'm sort of ranting a little bit. This is the first one I've done for the blog on my channel. Yeah, that makes sense. I do have to say I prefer Borderlands, and actually, that isn't me incorporating into my senior project. I will be doing. I'm trying to think of the word. I'll be doing a progression system like Destiny, where you will start off with white loot, which is the most worthless loot, and then you'll move on to greens, and then eventually you'll get I suppose, I don't know, maybe I'll skip greens and go straight to blues. Then you'll get, like, a legendary sort of color, like purple is usually the legendary color. And then you get to, yellow is usually the sign of, like, the rarest stuff in the game. I'm trying to think of games that, like, have a tier above yellow. I suppose cyan is usually considered ultra rare. Anyway, that's beyond the point. That's what I intend to do for my game, and those two games, I'm not saying that Borderlands is a bad progression system, it's just that, I don't like it. I prefer my weapons to have meaning, and Destiny definitely does that. Despite the grind to get them, sometimes they do have meaning because they're actually it's a fight to get that. And I can remember the guns in Destiny. I can't remember them in Borderlands. I can barely remember the name. I only remember Conference Call, and that's it. I can remember plenty of guns from Destiny. Maybe it's just because I've been playing Destiny recently, but that's beside the point. I guess I'll just end this here because otherwise I'm going to keep reiterating my point. The short version of what I said, Destiny is progression based because as you go through the game, you're going to get rarer loot. And Borderlands sort of has it, but it's very much luck based because pretty much after you reach a certain point, at any time you can get a yellow gun, and it's not going to be as good as anything you find later in the game. Even like a white you find at level 50. Destiny has a much more progression-based loot, and I hope to incorporate that into my game. Adios.